London Comic Con, droidscanada.com, Droids Canada podcast. I'm here with Taggart and Torrens. Taggart and Torrens, podcast and audio radio show.
Yes, you
I
got
thought
it.
you were going to say podcast fame.
Podcast fame?
I don't know if
Well,
we can
no,
use that phrase.
we have the IMDb of all of the fame going before. Now, how did you get started? Street Sense is what started it all for you?
Actually, grade 1, a play called The Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings. Not to brag, but I played the rabbit. That was probably my first performance.
Was that the leading role of it?
Yeah, critics said it didn't totally suck. And the rest is history. I did a promotional video for Big Brothers Big Sisters when I was like 12, and then Street Sense was my third gig.
Nice. And then Street Sense evolved into Jonavision?
Yeah, I did Street Sense for 7 years, and then Jonavision for 5, and then Trailer Park started. And that's where I met this goon.
This guy over here. Now,
Yeah.
do you have any, other than Our Lady Peace, do you have any involvement in Trailer Park Boys?
No, just the fact that they were friends and we took them on the road as to MC our Gravity tour, and that's when I met him shortly thereafter, and we
Oh, nice.
decided to work
So-
together at some point, and that's how the pod came.
So going back, this is going back. I'm talking like EdgeFest 95, EdgeFest 96.
Okay.
I've seen you perform. I'm a drummer myself. I have seen you perform. I can't count the number of times.
Good.
And awesome cross-Canada tour with the Canada 150th this year. That was pretty
nice,
stellar.
yes.
Now, I was
I
at
didn't
an
do that, but yeah.
You didn't do that shit?
I
You
left
didn't do
3
it?
years ago.
You left 3 years.
3.5.
You got out of it.
Yeah,
You got
I
out of it.
moved on.
So
they're doing it,
I'm
but
going-
I'm not doing it.
I'm going back to EdgeFest. Way back. You did a flip-flop year with you guys in the Tea Party. Okay?
Yep.
And 1 year Tea Party headline, 1 year you guys headline. Now at the end of a show, there was a lady who came out, rushed out on stage, and she grabs a microphone. I think this is the one when Edwin jumped on stage with Tea Party for like, I'm Afraid of Americans. Now, she goes, there's something the government's not telling you, something you need to know. Microphone's cut out. And still to this day, I'm wondering what it is.
No idea, but I'm assuming maybe that woman was having some issues, some mental problems, probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe she was actually planned. Maybe that was a scripted line.
Yeah.
And so
To
it
get
feels
everyone
a little
thinking.
convenient that the audio just cut out at that
Yeah.
very moment.
It's
What show was it, in London or was it
no,
in
it was
Toronto?
Barrie. It was
Oh, Barrie,
Molson Park.
Molson Park,
It was
okay.
Molson Park, yeah. So
Yeah, I don't remember that.
now, getting into your Trailer Park Boys, that's an iconic Canadian character. Now, were you the one who came up with everything for J-Roc?
Mike Clattenburg was the creator of Trailer Park Boys, and we worked together on a show called Street Sense all those years ago. We both went to high school with a bunch of guys that were J-Roc-like, and that's the way we talked around the Street Sense office, believe it or not. So when he was doing the show with high school friends of his, Rob and JP, who ended up playing Ricky and Julian, he was like, you should play that character on the show. That was it.
And just kind of all spun from high school experience.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, there are a lot of J-Rocs in Halifax and indeed all across the country, and we just wanted to make a character that was kind of paying loving tribute to those guys, but also maybe poking them with a stick a little bit.
We have a, where I'm from, I believe, I went to high school with a gentleman named Josh Peace, who you were in the movie Beefcake with. There was a guy who went to high school as well, who's kind of legendary for just being the guy who he is. A lot of people do the imitations, a lot of people do it, so I kind of understand that. Now, seeing how fun was it working on Trailer Park Boys? It seems like with that group of guys, that would be the most entertaining thing possible.
Well, Jer spent a bunch of time with those guys. They're as funny off camera as they are on. The crew's funny, Clattenburg's funny. It's kind of an East Coast trait, right? It's a have-not area of the country, but when times are tough, people are tougher and
They make good jokes.
make good jokes. I think the further east you go, I think Newfoundland is about as funny as it gets.
No, seriously.
As our friend Steve Dillon said, it was a stand-up comic. The Yuck Yucks just closed down in St. John's, and I said, why? He said, it's the only stand-up comedy club where you play where the hecklers are funnier than anybody on stage. It's like you get heckled from the crowd, and you're like on stage going, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I believe I went to a comedy club and Sean Majumner just destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. Just gave me the old, what are you, Robbie Alomar? Calling me
Oh,
Robbie
wow,
Alomar the whole
nice.
time.
That's a good
This is
one.
back when that was relevant and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
But seeing how fun Trailer Park Boys was, Treevenge. How fun would that have been, making a movie about Christmas trees coming to kill people?
I'll be honest, Jason Eisner is a genius, as is Rob Cotterill, his writing partner. These are East Coast guys that make horror films. They asked me to be in it, and it's not a genre that I'm super well versed in, but I know enough about both of those guys to just defer to them and trust their judgment.
Oh, yeah.
And plus I love a portmanteau. Treevenge as a title was amazing. And they are deranged and delightful in equal parts. That was really fun.
See, something like that is just such a good, I know it's a short movie, it's just something that's just such a good, quick watch. Now, you are doing a cross Canada tour now, I believe, with your show.
Yes, we start on Wednesday at the Great Hall in Toronto, and we go basically Ottawa, Montreal, and then in November we go from Victoria to Winnipeg. So.
Excellent. And what are you accomplishing with the tour? Is this a more of a comedy tour? Is this a tour promoting your show?
It's basically the live podcast. You know?
Live podcast?
We have fun with each other. We play games. We have guitar and drums, so we play music as well. So it's basically an hour and a half of good times.
An hour and a half of live show and good times.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, for people of Droids Canada family, where can people find your show?
It's on iTunes, it's on SoundCloud, it'll hopefully be on TV soon. And we have a book called Canadianity that's in stores October 17th. And every chapter is a different province across Canada. It's our reminiscences from, touring the country in different capacities. And
make an excellent Christmas gift.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And combined with local tips in each place.
Yeah.
So if you're going to Alberta, we got some buds, as we call them, to outline a few places you might want to check out in each province and territory across the country.
And awesome. For day-to-day stuff, taggardandtorrens.ca.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time. We're here at London Comic Con. Check it out, Taggart and Torrens podcast and audio, terrestrial radio as well. We were talking about a little earlier.
Not at the moment. We were, and then we stopped that for the moment. We're too busy right now. So just podcasting
Keep
around.
it busy.
Yeah.
Now, I do have one last question for you as well. There's another project you're currently working on in Halifax, I believe?
Mr. D?
Mr. D.
We just shot the 7th season of Mr. D this summer. It airs on Tuesday nights on CBC. And, same thing. It's an East Coast show, man. Morale is high. It's a nice cast. Everybody's really funny. The crew is great. Food's good. Yeah. And I get to sleep in my own bed every night.
East Coast is where all the funny's from, it seems to be right now. So
I don't know about that. Canada's a pretty funny place.
For sure.
We got a good times. Canadians rock. But once again, thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.